keep the faith, smile and keep the faith, smile and keep the faith, smile and keep the faith. Positivity is something you should have, so just stick around and tune in to Cam Davis Podcast, a place to talk about sports and elevating each other to be the greatest through different forms of motivation, such as sensation when you finish an episode and use a lesson you learned on this rocky road called life. But take it one step at a time and everything will be alright. Alright, yeah. Believe in yourself, cause you can do it, and trust the process in your journey. You never lose it, cause you are destined to be great. So all you have to do is smile and keep the faith.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? You're listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. Cameron Davis here on the Cam Davis Podcast. Episode 16. Episode 16. I ain't finna give it a try in Espanol. Big dog, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. But I'm excited. I got my big dog with me, as you can see. And we're also joined by a special guest, a guy that I met when we first started doing this podcast, the Cam Davis Podcast, Mr. Brandon T. Denton. What's up, dog? What's up, dog?
Man, what's going down, good people, man? This is exciting, dude. I've been listening to all the podcasts, so I'm ready to have my own version.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
I thought this was the Cam and David show. I think you said on one of them podcasts.
It is at this point. It is big dog.
No.
You feel me?
We pushing the brand.
Yeah,
We pushing the brand. I'm behind the scenes, like CJ.
Yeah, my God.
Well, yeah,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Yeah, episode 16, man. Me and Dave, we was like, we gotta find a guest, and we both thought Brandon, man, a guy that I met when we first started doing this podcast. He allowed us to come to his spot, and that's where you see us at in season one. Sometimes there, but hey, Brandon, what's up, man? How you been and everything? Let us know what's been going down.
Yeah, man. First of all, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always thinking about a brother.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And providing me some opportunities. I know I've been knowing David a long time, and he always put me on, man. So I'm excited, dude. Lots been going on in my life, but at the end of the day, man, I just want to say God is good, man. Life is good.
Yes, sir.
Your boy has no complaints, you know, just living. Got some gas in the tank, so I'm still going. I got some joy in my heart. So, man, I'm just trying to bring it all to the table.
I hear you, man. You said you got some gas in the tank, so you still going. I ain't finna go there right now. I want the people to know you a little bit. We're going to get back to that. I like that right there. You got some gas in the tank and you still going. But tell us about My Brother's Keeper. I know you're a part of that. Let us know about that.
Yeah, man. So for the last year or so, I've been blessed, let me just say that, to have this opportunity, this privilege to lead this organization that President Barack Obama founded. If you all remember, surely you do, it can't leave your memory, but in 2012, Trayvon Martin was killed, right? Murdered at the hands of, I forget old guy's name. Anyhow, Zimmerman, yeah. And so President Barack Obama made the comment that if he had a son, it could have been Trayvon Martin, or if he was younger, it could have easily been him. And so in response to that, he created this initiative called My Brother's Keeper, which he was talking about just a minute ago, basically to support boys and young men of color, guys that look like us, right? Guys that come from the streets, that's in the community and otherwise. And so 2015, we put out a call to all the cities and a call to action to say, what are you doing to help these boys and young men of color in your city, in your state? And how are you helping these young cats? And the call came to Houston. And at that time, it was Mayor Anise Parker. Now Mayor Turner, another Black man leading the fourth largest city in the nation, is leading the charge and the call to action. And he put me in a position to be able to lead the Houston chapter, man. And so that's all I do, man. By day, I'm serving boys and young men of color, trying to keep them out the streets, trying to make sure they graduate high school, trying to make sure they have mentors, trying to make sure they have jobs, trying to make sure they have a pathway to college or some post-secondary opportunity. And then should they get in trouble or come close to it, making sure they have second chances, right? Like to get themselves back acclimated into the systems, into the world, whether that's them getting a high school diploma, a GED, or just getting into the workforce, man. It's you're a young man of color. Davis, a young man of color. We know what our counterparts, our peers, and our young men are going through because we've lived through those experiences. So, man, God has given me the privilege of having all these boys and young men of color's lives in my hands, in essence. And at the end of the day, Cam, I'm just trying to be a good steward, dog. That's it. That's my brother. Keep it in a nutshell.
Now that's not all you do. You also have the half wheel cigar. Man, I should have had me one. I should have had me one while I was here on the episode. Could be sitting back smoking me one, chilling. You know what I'm saying? And I'll smoke a cigar. You know what I'm saying? But tell us about that and shout your stuff out, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. So, you said it earlier. What's my brother's keeper? That's what I do during the day. Yeah. I'm like Batman, bro. Batman a billionaire by day, but I'm saving lives by day. He saved lives at night. So I'm the opposite. I smoke cigars at night. I roll cigars at night. But yeah, man, I started this company called the Half Wheel. And people always ask me, like, what's the half wheel? What that even means? So, in cigar terminology, a half wheel is a bundle of cigars, probably about 50 or more cigars that's rolled into a bundle. And then they put a ribbon on it to make it pretty. And so I've always had this vision, man, because I've been smoking cigars for a long time. Yeah. Michael Jordan won the championship in '93. If I was old enough to talk on something then, I would have been doing it then. But took some influence from Mike and started smoking cigars. I was about 18, man, when I actually became legal.
Yeah, I got my influence from LeBron James, after he won his championship in the bubble. Come on, big dog. David, talk to me. That picture, you remember that picture with the you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go James. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. So half wheel is a play on words because I'm mobile. And I'm working on purchasing a mobile home that I'm gonna flip into a mobile cigar lounge. So the half wheel is a cigar terminology, plus being on the road and being mobile is how we came up with the name, man. So I do cigar events. I roll cigars. I've done a couple last month. I got a couple coming up this month. It's an opportunity to be socially connected with people. It's cool. It's the fad. Although I've been doing it for almost 20 years. Really people are catching on to it. So you go to a club, you go to a park, you go to a party, everybody got a stick in their mouth. And so in the half wheel, not only am I, just teaching them, smoking cigars with them, I'm teaching them about, cigars, the origins of where they come from, the parts of the cigar, right? The head, the foot, the body, the binder, the filler, the wrapper, from Nicaragua, from all the way to Dominican, from Sumatra, all the way to Cameroon, Africa.
I need to learn a little something.
Yeah, from Japan to Mexico, man. That cigars come from everywhere. And I'm your plug, man. So picture me rolling.
Hey, I got you. Man, let's go ahead and get into this episode, though. The people been waiting. You said your gas tank is full and you're still going. Hey, man, you gave me a topic. Go ahead and lay it on the people. Yeah. Let's get into this thing, Brandon.
Man, when y'all asked me what this boy gonna talk about, I said, man, I talk about everything under the sun. How much time we got? It's the biggest thing.
Hey, we can go as long as you want to, man.
Yeah. But man, over the last year or so, I've just been really thinking about life, you know what I'm saying? And I've been going through a lot of different experiences, whether that be with relationships, coming to this role with NBK, and, family stuff, personal and professionally. Life has been really, taking me and molding me and transforming me into a whole nother person. But I remember, man, and I don't know, maybe the summertime, maybe about May or June, I was in DC, man, when I was actually in Philadelphia. I was just walking the streets and just looking at the people and looking at the buildings and reflecting on my life up until that point and all the stuff I had experienced. And I don't know if it was God, the spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it popped in my head that, man, just keep going. No matter what's happening, no matter if it's good or bad, some stuff can stop you along the way. Some stuff can, cause some challenges and some barriers. But at the end of the day, what can we do? right? I think it's a quote that I heard. If you're depressed, it's because you're thinking about the past. If you're anxious, it's because you're thinking about the future. Neither one have happened. And if you're happy and you're joyful, it's because you're in the present, right? You can't go back and bring nobody from the dead. You can't worry about tomorrow. All you can do is live now and do this stuff for one day at a time. And that's where I got to keep going from, man. So that's what I've been living. I've been living in that vein and staying on that beam for a very long time, man. And it's been proven to work for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Keep going. You got to understand that God is arranging things in your favor. You know, he's making a way even when you don't see a way, right? So keep on going. And David, man, what's up, man? Talk to us about keep going.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and do my best Rondo. You know, a lot of times LeBron James, I try to do my LeBron, but I'm more of a Rondo on this. But I want to apologize to all y'all and the people. Me and Brandon always practice me introducing him because I've introduced him a few times.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna bring it back. I ain't gonna introduce him that way like I should have. You know what I'm saying? From Spencer High School. You know what I'm saying? To Rogers State. But what I do want to do, it popped in my head. I wanted to lead you into some things. I know he said keep going, and so a little bit about Brandon's history. Brandon started with the Memphis Redbirds, right? And Brandon can tell you more about it, but that opportunity led him to the Houston Astros, where he thought, his path was going some way, but it pivoted and he didn't stop. He kept going, right? He had to stay ready. He literally popped the trunk on these boys. And I'll let him explain it to y'all, you know what I'm saying? But then Brandon went on from that to while I was there, I watched Brandon, not to put his business out there like that, right? But he paid for a program that we wouldn't even have nothing like that. That was like $5,000 at the time. We probably didn't have. He didn't have $1,000. I had $10 to my name at the time.
I couldn't even put the deposit down, dog.
You know what I'm saying? But I watched Brandon say, "Man, I'm about to do this right here." Put that down and pay for it himself. You know what I'm saying? When I went with this man when we went to the bank and they denied him for a loan so he can get this program. He looked across at me and said, "You ready?" We got in that car. We were so defeated. He said, "Man, I'm about to get this done one way or the other." And I witnessed him keep going. And especially that Brandon has been, he's the My Brother's Keeper director, but for the last 10 years, Brandon has been my brother's keeper. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing so much on and off, and he's been an influence to me to keep on going with a lot of personal stuff that, I didn't share with you, Cam, and stuff I've gone through that I will share with a lot of people that's been life-changing. I've been in the hospital. He was there with me in the, what they call it, in the ICU. I didn't know what was going on with me. Spent the night with me. He's put me on all job opportunities, business endeavors, but he's showed me through watching him to keep on going.
How to keep on going.
To find a way. But I'll let Brandon go ahead and, come back and kind of tell y'all a little bit more about his actual story, because I think that's important that you share that with the people, because they may look at, oh, he's my brother keeper, but they don't know where you've been and the obstacles you had to come. And I think that'd be important for people, bro.
Yeah, I guess that's why I appreciate that, man. I bless you, brother. I always, it's always good when you can get some flowers when you're alive, man. I guess through the process, I don't know, God has made me resilient, so I don't even think about half the stuff that you just said, right? Well, I'm just a little country boy from Spencer, Oklahoma, and I done made it to the big city. Like, see, flashed a resume.
I didn't know that.
Hey, tell them to Google me, I guess. But humbly speaking, there was some defining moments, I guess, in my life, David, that you done brought it to the forefront, where I've always had to keep going, man. Parents who were divorced when I was 3 years old. My dad and my mom went through custody battle. I'm the only boy. My mama's only boy. I got 3 sisters, 4 kids. Mama and them left and went to Dallas, Fort Worth. I went to live with daddy. Keep going, right? Going through high school, experienced a lot of different things, lost some family members, keep going. Was a Major League Baseball prospect, like David said, senior year in high school with the Braves and Padres, didn't get drafted, keep going. And Cam, I was like top 10 in my school, man.
See, I didn't know that.
Academically. And I had 0 scholarship dollars to my name. All my classmates were valedictorians and salutatorians, had hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school or wherever they wanted to, full ride. I had 0. Didn't even really want to go to college, just wanted to play ball. Graduated high school, got some awards, got 10%, no scholarship money. Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
Keep going. Walked into a campus called Northeastern Oklahoma A&M University in Miami, Oklahoma, spelled Miami, like Miami. Why they call it Miami, I don't know. Keep going.
Yeah.
But anyway, worked out with the coach and ended up walking on, right? 2 weeks before the fall semester started after my senior year in high school to play baseball. Got a tuition scholarship, a book scholarship, took out a whole bunch of student loans and kept going, right? Coach wanted to redshirt me after I done outplayed everybody. Said, I don't want to be here no more. Keep going.
Keep going.
Went to Northeast, transferred to Northern Oklahoma College in Tonkawa, Oklahoma. Nobody, and by the way, I got my OU shirt on. I know we got blown out by UT. But I'm from Oklahoma. We got beat by 49-0.
Keep going.
Keep going, dog.
There's a bright side somewhere.
I went to Rogers State University in Northeastern Oklahoma, the home of Will Rogers, Oklahoma's Cowboy. Junior year became a major league prospect. Braves, Padres, Rays, White Sox, so forth. Watched the whole draft. I remember that summer I was working on the golf course. I'm changing cup tees, man. I'm cutting greens. I'm cutting the fairways. I'm watering the greens out there in 105-degree heat. Listen to the whole draft on my phone while I'm cutting grass. All 1,500 names were called over 3 days, right? And if you think about the draft back in the day, it was 50 rounds over 3 days, and everybody was drafting like 2 or 3 people. It was like a total of 1,500. You divide that by the teams that I was eligible to be drafted with. I had a 250 out of 1,500 chance to become a professional baseball player. Didn't make it. Cried my heart out. Keep going. Came back my junior year. Killed it. Balling out. Chicago White Sox, Padres. Watched the draft, had a different mindset. Why? Because I had so many times where I had to keep going. So this time was no different. Keep going. Then I went off to Joliet, Illinois, and played a little independent baseball with the baseball team up there. During the winter, I lasted about 3-4 weeks. Got cut. Keep going. Came back, finished my sport management degree, and then that's where the story picks up with David. When I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, man, it was the furthest I had ever been from home. It was the longest journey I had ever did by myself. Had some roommates, worked in that baseball program, man, and that's really where the journey started for me. In terms of like even coming full circle of working for my brother's keeper, man. And we had a program called Sports Teams Returning in the Public Education System, or Stripes, working with nothing but minority kids, making sure they have some athletic activities and enrichment activities to do, and then bringing in reviving baseball in the cities, which I started leading in Houston. And then a lot of stuff happened with the team, man. They was kind of going bankrupt. They brought in a new leadership team called Comcast Spectacor. They're the only nonprofit baseball team in the world, so you can only imagine the resources wasn't there. And so I left, man. I wanted to go big league. Since they didn't draft me, I was just gonna work in the sport, man. That's why I got a sport management degree. So anyway, took a chance, man, packed my stuff up, drove home, packed the rest of my stuff up. And the funniest story is the guy that I had talked to from, because I had been talking to people from the Astros, right? And so the guy's named Daryl Wade, man. He was the director of the Major League Baseball Urban Youth Academy at Sylvester Turner Park. And remember these names, Wade, Sylvester Turner Park, right?
Yeah.
Houston Astros, it was all significant. So long story short, I had put in an application for a job with the Astros before I left. And I was driving to Houston, Texas, man. And I got a phone call from Daryl. He was going to Memphis. And he said, man, I got a baseball class reunion in Memphis. I got your application. I want to meet you while I'm there. I'm interested in hiring you for the position. I was like, well, we probably passing each other on the highway, dog, because I'm coming to your city and you going where I was, but I'll meet you when I get back in Houston. So long story short, moved down here with my uncle, man. Daryl came back in town. He sat me in the office and we did an interview. And that was it. Like the interview was literally done. And so when David said pop the trunk, that's literally what I did. So he had a baseball camp going on with some college baseball players. I ain't gonna put the school out there, but it was some baseball players that was supposed to run a camp for him. It was like 60 kids that signed up, and they were like 6 and 7 years old, Cam. So Can you imagine like 66 to 7 years old running around a baseball field, not knowing what the hell was going on?
Yeah,
like herding cats, bro. So he was gonna have to do that by himself. And so me just being who I was, and God just putting on my heart to always stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. I said, you need some help? He was like, yeah, can you help me? And I'm in a suit. I said, I'll be right back. I went to the car, I popped the trunk. I came back with all my baseball gear on, and the rest is history, dog. I worked for the Astros for almost 5 years after that position. So in that instance, you know, I just kept going, man. I left Memphis, went to Houston, dog. Keep going. And so that led me to meeting a guy named Sylvester Turner, man, who was a state rep at the time. He was just serving in the community. Like I really appreciated being new to Houston and seeing a Black man, a man of color, really out there helping people and serving people. And I was like, I want to do that one day to that extent. And so fast forward, I hit up Sylvester Turner, then state rep, and said, man, can I get a little bit of your time? And he gave me his phone number and his email. We set up a call, and we was only scheduled for 30 minutes. We talked about an hour and a half. And ever since, now he's my boss. He's the mayor of the city of Houston, the 4th largest city on the planet. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Left the Astros, and you know, I just wanted to get back in. I wanted to get into that public service. It was time. Astros was getting our bus kicked, dog. And it was hard to work for the team. I ain't gonna lie. You talking 100? You talking about 200 or 300 lost seasons? I think at that time.
We couldn't give away tickets for free.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. So that man, it served its purpose though. It got, you know, it was a blessing from God that I was able to even stay in the sport, having not been drafted, man, and having played at that level. I was driving around with people like Jose Altuve in my car. You know, I got $1 million worth of cargo, George Springer, you name it, Keuchel, Verlander, all them cats. We used to ride around in that same 2006 Ford Fusion that I came down here in Houston with. It ain't the Camaro you see outside right now, like you driving, dog. But it was it got around, you know. Them guys was rocking with me, man. So anyway, after all that was said and done, I left and came to the city when Sylvester Turner became mayor. I worked in Parks Department, and that was brutal. That was an experience. But I was in the hood, man. I was in 5th Ward. And was really hands-on in the community, helping seniors, helping kids, helping them grow. David was working in the same part with the county. And so we had to spend a lot of time together, but we knew that wasn't it. We needed to keep going. Led me to my next role in the library, and took that show on the road with bookmobiles, game bill. And I say, man, I've done everything from baby yoga classes to teaching senior citizens how to just turn the computer on, right? And puppet shows and all kind of stuff, dude. But I had a bad boss, couldn't do it.
Keep going.
Keep going, dog. Just keep going. And at the time, a position had opened up in mayor's office, man. And he said, man, come on over and run these initiatives for me. So I ran some of mayor's signature initiatives. He put me on where I was working with superintendents, presidents, and chancellors of universities, executive directors of HGAC, and all these organizations, man. And God just increased my territory because I kept going. I didn't stop, right? And one monkey don't stop no show, dog. You got to just keep pushing. And I experienced a lot of stuff on that way, man. I lost my grandmother, saw her take her last breath. I've lost other family members and stuff along the way. I've lost friends along the way. You just keep going, man. Nothing should keep you from putting one foot in front of the other every day and just getting up and starting it all over and trying it again, man. And so after leaving the mayor's office, God blessed me. He increased my territory and took my responsibilities for trying to be any and everything to all people and narrow it down and brought me back home, man, to who I am as a young Black man who have experienced some of the things that these young Black men and boys have experienced, and being in a position, right? I started at the community, started from the bottom. Now I'm here, right? And so having been hands-on and helping people in the community, seeing everything in between, and then having the opportunity to go to the highest level in the city government to see how executives make the decisions to help people on the ground has been an honor for me, man. And I think, like I said, I'm trying to be a good steward of that. It's good that you were in the trenches with the people, but as God elevates you, how you serve changes, the mission and the why has never changed for me. And so that's why the mindset is keep going, man, because I'm a man that's about my Father's business.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that can keep me from that mission. And so I have to keep going because I have no choice, because he said so. and I'm gonna just stop there and take a breath.
Hey man, real quick, because I see we got like 7 minutes. Cause we had to do Zoom this time, y'all. So they limit us on time. But Brandon, if you can, real quick, a lot of points that Brandon talked about. If y'all really come back and listen to it, it was always a pivot. Brandon went from thing to thing to thing, but it wasn't what his path was. But it was a pivot, and he kept going. But if you could talk about, how you started in sports real quick with like 5 minutes or less to where you are with Team Up, you know what I'm saying? But also kind of let them know about, the John Maxwell experience as far as getting to that and also the Betterment Company.
God was telling me a lot of different things, man. I'd always just try to be keen to what he's been saying to me, man, and be in tune. So let's just say John Maxwell, for instance, man, it's a coaching, training, speaking, leadership program. And when David talked about me dropping my last $1,100 in my savings account to make that investment in myself, that's exactly what it was, man. You got to bet on yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you like you would do it for yourself. And I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. I had been turned down by family, friends. The job wasn't even trying to give it to me. And so I just went through it, man. I paid the piper. I went through the program. I graduated. And the Astros had called me back and was like, man, we want you to come to the all staff meeting and tell everybody how you've been invested in your own personal growth. And we just speak to 250 different people. And I was like, okay, bet. I got up there. I told my story. And then when I got down off the podium, I remember the senior vice president of business operations came over to me and said, I want to pay you back every dime you ever put out on that program. So that's $5,240.91 your boy got back in his pocket from not even being able to afford the down payment in the first place. But that has got me to where I am in terms of my leadership, right? And being in the roles that I'm in, but also in speaking and training and coaching people to betterment and making sure they, they're able to grow personally and grow as leaders. And so I created the Betterment Company after that. And the Betterment Company was my first business venture, dog. Like, it was like, I'm going to transform all of this into an opportunity for me to develop people. And because I went through that whole process, I started getting gigs, training leaders for the Home Depot, Gulf region, senior vice presidents, human resources directors, about 15 district managers, store managers. Biggest training I ever had in my life. David put me on to some civic club stuff. I trained churches, and all of that was because God told me to do something, and I did it, and I kept going. I made that pivot. And so, all of those experiences, again, come full culmination. But baseball started it for me, dog. It made the pathway for me. It was my vice. It was my go-to when, stuff was happening at home or when stuff was happening in school or in the streets. It was my sanctuary. And so going out there, hitting a couple balls and smashing them things all over the place really let me release some stuff. But it was also God's way of, just providing a pathway to where I need to be on my next stop, right? I was studying psychology and sociology. And then my junior year, when I didn't get drafted, as I said earlier, I switched my degree. I made another pivot to sport management and sociology because I wanted to stay in the game. God told me to stay in the game. And so luckily for me that I did because it got me to where I am today.
Man, I love it. I love it. I'm just glad that you was able to share that with him, bro, because I know, a lot of people, they always see people and they in these positions. They be like, oh, man, they sure had it easy, dog. Yeah, dog, they had it easy, dog. You know what I'm saying? Who ain't the swag? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not the swag.
I'm not the swag.
Who ain't the swag?
Who ain't my brother?
They don't know
who is my brother's keeper? You know what I'm saying? But it's the pivot. You know what I'm saying? And you where you plan on going is not always where you're gonna go from every stop, but eventually you'll get there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Back in the space where we working with all professional organizations, MLB, NFL, NCAA, college. Now we're working with everybody. But the most important piece is no matter what, quote unquote, you may think it's a roadblock, but it's not. It's just a stepping stone to where you need to be. But the most important thing is to do what? Keep going.
Man, listen, through everything that you've been through, right? You may not understand today or tomorrow, but eventually God will reveal why you went through everything that you did, right?
Yeah.
Man, my favorite quote is every moment in life presents a lesson and a blessing. Brandon, like every moment that you went through in your life presented a lesson and a blessing. And your test became your testimony. Yeah. Your mess became your message. Your pain turned into power. Your stressing turned into blessings, and those obstacles turned into your stepping stones, man. You just kept on going, man. I loved, man. I didn't know most of this stuff, man. I didn't know. I didn't even know you played baseball, Brandon. Like,
really,
this was a real testimony that you just gave, and I appreciate you so much for coming on, man. And I
tell you what,
when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. You know what I'm saying?
tough times don't last. Tough people do. I'll tell you one thing, man, for both of y'all, if y'all keep going, y'all gonna witness a whole lot more. God got a lot in store for all of us, bro. And this little trifecta right here is who he gonna do it through, man. God needs us to be at the forefront. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you," right? And so
plans to prosper, give you hope and a future. Yeah.
What do you need? What other promises do you even need to keep you going? Right? You can lean on the word for all the advice, for all the wisdom, all the proverbs that you need that will keep you going. You can't stop until he stops you. He's not going to allow you to stop the journey until he said it's over, until that mission and that purpose is fulfilled. So be about your Father's business no matter what you do. Whether it's a relationship, if it gets tough, keep going. If the job ain't going the way you want it to, just keep going. If life itself, just in general, bro, ain't going the way, I bet if you just keep going, you'll figure out that it's gonna be all right. And so I hang my hat right there, dog.
Man.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, dog. Look, man, look. You got to run your own race. You can't be looking in the other lane, seeing what other people doing. The race isn't given it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Ecclesiastes 9:11, the race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but the one who endures to the end. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, dog. If I ain't the slack, you crazy, man. But let's see, we got a couple more minutes. Dave, you got anything? Man, this episode right here.
Hey, Brandon just really he skimmed over everything, really, man.
Man.
Hey, Brandon, what's your IG handles and your Facebook and stuff so people can follow you, man?
Yeah. So you can follow me on IG and Twitter at BT_Denton, BT_Denton. You want to follow the Betterment Companies at Betterment Co, BETTERMENTCO. If you down to smoke some cigarettes, some cigars.
No cigarettes. No Newports. No Marlboro, whatever they call it.
Get on the premium Cubanos and Nicaraguans and the Dominicans. You can go to at the Half Wheel on Instagram, and all my websites and pages will be on those handles too, for sure.
Or if you need a live roller at any of your events,
if you need a live cigar roller. For your wedding, for your cigar your golf fundraiser, whatever it is, hit up yours truly, Brandon T. Denton, certified cigar sommelier, tobacconist.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm so blessed that God allowed you to be in my life, man. Just David being the link for us to connect. Man, you truly a blessing. Your story was truly a blessing. And as we end it, as always, much love, many blessings. Want to encourage y'all to keep on keeping on. And what it say, big dog? Smile and keep the faith. Yes, sir.
All you have to do is smile and keep the faith. Smile and keep the faith. Hey.